In today's video, I am taking you all the way from Nebraska, driving to Santa Clarita, California. You heard me. We are going to be in the vehicle for 20 hours. Well, really, it's like 18, but you know. We are rounding up so I can add dramatics to this video, but I recorded a little bit of our journey and I wanted to share it with you here. We are 3 hours on the road now, and we are reaching Independence Rock. This was really fun. It was a nice place to stop and stretch our legs, and it was just kind of neat. This was also our very first stop, and we were so glad to get out of the car already. I know we are not that far into our journey, but we needed to stretch our legs. The kids could not wait to go and look around Independence Rock. We decided to take this vacation because it was my mother-in-law's 70th birthday and my mother's 60th birthday this year, and so we wanted to take them on a little vacation and just have all of the family together hanging out and seeing some new country. Some of the family chose to fly and some of the family chose to drive. We chose to drive because we wanted to be able to stop and see fun things like this. We are back on the road again. I will say that Wyoming shocked me. It was pretty. It had a lot of fun views. This tunnel was pretty cool. And then we stopped at a gas station that I believe was called like Little America. But it was a pretty neat little gas station. It had a playground for the kids to play on, and it had everything you could imagine in the gas station. This is where the trip really started getting good because we slowly started getting into the mountains, which were absolutely breathtaking, and I absolutely loved driving through all of them. So we drove through, Nebraska, part of Nebraska. We drove through Wyoming, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and California. And then on the way home, we did include Colorado. And I think my favorite state to drive through was Utah. It was just absolutely gorgeous. The first night we stayed in Spanish Forks, Utah, and I will recommend that to everyone. It was such a cute little clean town. Then we made our way to Vegas. We wanted to stay in Vegas one night just so we could show the whole family what Vegas was about. But we kind of made the mistake of staying at one of the hotels. I'm not going to list which one, and I did not really care for that hotel. So if we ever go back, I will definitely be staying at like New York, or one of those hotels up on the strip. The last time I was in Vegas was in 2011 when my husband and I were honeymooners and chose to come to Vegas for a week and enjoy some shows, and we just really enjoyed it. So we wanted to make sure that we stopped back by, but I will say it looked so different. So we decided to drive the strip and just kind of see everything they had to offer. And then we decided to go back and get checked into our hotel room, which was a little bit of a challenge because the hotel that we chose to stay at did not actually have workers there to check you into your room. You had to do it all online and then go to like a kiosk thing and get checked in, and it was just kind of a little bit different. But after we got all checked in, we decided to take the kids over to Hoover Dam. Now, I highly recommend taking your kids over to Hoover Dam. I could not believe how cool this dam is. When we first talked about going here, I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I had no idea how awesome this was. And the views were spectacular. It just looked like a painting. It didn't even look real. It was so gorgeous. So if you haven't been here, I highly recommend you go and check it out. We really enjoyed it. We walked around for a couple hours enjoying the view and seeing everything. Then we headed back into Vegas and we went on the strip and made sure we ate some supper. We went and saw the water show, and then we were really tired and trying to make our way back to the hotel. So we finally just called a cab so we could get a ride back to where we were staying because the walk was just getting to be a little too much for everyone. We didn't go and attend any shows that night, just the water show, but it was awesome to see. And then the next morning, we were back on the road again. So we rented a house in Santa Clarita. We had a pretty good group with us, so we got a pretty big house. And I will say this house was so nice. I highly recommend it. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour. It had the living room, the kitchen, and a bedroom downstairs, and then all the other bedrooms were upstairs. This was the master bath, which I stayed in this room. It was so cozy. Absolutely loved it. This was another guest bathroom, a laundry room, and then it still had some more bedrooms. I think everybody felt pretty comfortable here. The only thing I would have changed is having a pool in the backyard. We also got to go and see the CD Museum. This was so cool to see. They had a lot of stuff, and we learned a lot of stuff by going to this museum. If you didn't know, my nephew is in the Navy. I'm super proud of him, but it was neat to go and tour this museum and just kind of see everything that he's a part of. After the museum, we were starving, so we went to In-N-Out, and then we drove Highway 1 to see all of the ocean. It was super neat to be able to see this view and drive this highway. We all really enjoyed it. I will say that we did get to see some of the houses that burned in the fire, and that was really devastating and sad to see all of the destruction and loss that California went through. Then we finally reached our destination, which was the Santa Monica Pier. It was super fun to walk on the beach and see all the activities going on, see the ocean, walk out on the pier. It was just highly enjoyable. We even got a churro on the pier, which was fun. And look at this view. It is absolutely gorgeous. After the pier, we headed back to our house, made some supper, went to bed, and the next morning, we went to Disneyland. The last time we took our kids to Disneyland was 6 years ago, so this was super fun. The park was really busy this day, so there was a lot of standing in line, but we still enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. I will say that my favorite ride is still the Soarin' ride in the Adventureland Park. It is just so cool how they can mimic the different countries that you see and like the air blowing on your face and even the smell. We grabbed some supper, and then after supper, we headed back. The next day was just a lazy day enjoying family time, and then the next day it was sadly time to go home. I enjoyed this whole vacation and loved spending time with family. Thanks for coming along with us on our vacation. Thanks for watching. Bye!